All right. Booters, welcome back to Suited and Booted. Yes, this is not Baronia. We're in the fancy Backchat studios with the fancy equipment. So shout out to those guys. To my left.
Lord Marzi.
To my right, just here. To his right.
Number 10.
And we are honoured to be joined by our first ever current player. Give it up for Bruno Fornaroli. Let's go.
Bruno.
How have we allowed a current player onto the show?
Now, Bruno, get in.
Let me just make this clear for the listeners. We had a pretty strong rule that no current players because most of them are boring. But then when the opportunity came up to speak to Bruno, we thought, well, we're not going to turn that down, are we? So, Bruno, first of all, how are you? How you feeling? How's everything going?
I will try to don't be boring. That's the first.
Put pressure on you.
No. He's Gav's got the mate, so I think he feels a bit more at home now.
Yes.
Yeah, you know?
Actually, yeah. As soon as I give me the mate, now I'm part of the show now.
100%.
No, I'm feeling well, man. Thank you very much. For me, it's different, you know. It's not like a normal interview, and I feel comfortable in this. We can talk about everything.
How many podcasts have you done? You've done Jake's.
And that's why I told them, I said, man, Bruno's good, man.
Yes,
He's
actually,
English.
it's the only one. So this is my second one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
big,
a privilege.
man.
That's huge for us.
Big
Guys,
player.
before we get into it, make sure 5 stars on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, follow all that stuff. You already know the drill. Now, Bruno, I guess we should start from the beginning. You're from Salto, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what was it like there as a kid playing in the streets? And is it true that you played with not only Suarez but Cavani as well?
Yes.
So what was your youth like, football, in Uruguay?
Look, in Uruguay, everyone plays football, and you know now it's a little bit different. The city changed a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's grown, but when I lived before in Salto, was no traffic in my street because the train cut the street, so it was perfect. We was outside playing all day and without problem. And the other side of the train, Cavani lives the other side, so and we play in the same club.
Is he a 92 born? Is he?
Cavani?
No,
No,
87.
Cavani's older.
No.
Oh, older. Oh,
We
yeah.
are all 87. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
Can
year.
you
right.
just think of this, bro? This is what I remember when I spoke to Bruno about this once. That area of Uruguay has produced arguably world-class striker. 3 unbelievable professional strikers.
What, is it a small town? Like, what is the?
120.
That is crazy.
Bruno,
Yeah, right.
I've seen Cavani and he's all about his farming and all of that. So is that sort of what's going on around where you're coming up from?
Like countryside.
Look,
Yeah.
actually, where he lives now is very close to the city. Like, it's not big. Can imagine it's only 120. He lives like 20 minutes away from the city, and it's all land, and he loves to live there. Actually, if you see, you know, normally plays like him or Suarez, or you will see more in the holidays, like in Yate or Ibiza, or you know how it is. But actually, he's finished and he goes straight there. Is what he loves, and be around the family and friends and alone in his land.
Is that what it was like for you growing up there? What was it like for you?
Look, yeah, it was not like this because I'm from the city, but yeah, we have a lot of space to be around with the ball and without the ball, you know, and without problem. Actually, my mom called me when the sun go down and said, "Come on, have to have a dinner," and that's it.
Wow.
And I miss this, and it's sometimes it's a little bit different now with my kids, that I cannot give this to them.
Yeah.
Which for me was fun, and then you know, Smart Street give you a lot for the life.
Can you talk about, like, I guess the process that you went through with school, training, joining a club, especially in those younger years growing up?
Yeah. Look, I went to school in Salto. I remember have a great time. Always my parent was a little bit come on, you have to study. I was pretty good actually, and but the ball was, if you don't do well, you're not playing the weekend, you know. And for me, it was enough. That was the punishment for.
That was the motivation.
Yes.
For you, yeah.
Otherwise, they give me like you know the lights, red, yellow, and green. Every Friday, I remember like the teacher have to put yellow, green, and I just come on, put the green. Otherwise, I cannot play. I don't care. I promise I will be better next week. But yeah.
That starts the bribering right there.
Exactly.
At school.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference? I remember speaking to you about it once, and it blew my mind, but I can't remember exactly what you said, but around the junior development, like how kids play the football there versus in Australia. Was there anything big that stands out to you as different? That because Uruguay do it so well.
Yes, massive different. Look, like I said, I have a son 7 years old. I like to go every training with him, see the kids. And I always say here, I have the chance to pay. No, look, I'm lucky enough to pay the academy so he can train, he can play. But I always think about it like maybe across the road is another kid which have better talent than everyone that are there. But the parents they don't have the chance to pay. Mm. So we're losing talent. Mm. In Australia, we're losing talent. That's what
Uruguay,
I think.
Uruguay, how is it then?
No, that's free.
Everything is free. Football
is free. Football is free. So,
but then in terms of how do they actually pay? So did you go to a big club when you were younger, or how did that work?
It's a normal club in
club.
in Salto. You can imagine it's no biggest club. Yeah, one club could be better than the other. Or you can have more facilities. Or, but actually, it's like parents. Okay, we need all the stuff for the players. They do something between the parents,
fundraiser
to collect the money to provide to every single kid. Maybe you have less money, you cannot provide, no problem. We help each other to provide to every single kid.
Smart, man.
So that's how it works, you know. And then at the end of the day, everyone can play. Everyone, like I say, miss talent. Everyone have the chance to run with the ball and play in the weekend and show the talent without have to pay, you know. Like,
what would you say is like your crucial years of development as a kid? What ages?
For me, that's will be the most important. 8 to 12. Mm-hmm. And I think in Australia now, at the moment, it's a massive gap between 12 to 17, 18.
Yeah.
For me, I think because now I think football is the sport that he have more kids playing at the moment. But why we cannot see a lot in the first teams? No, look, this year actually a lot of kids are playing, but I think it's more because the budget it's more than the talent.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of kids with talent today, but for me, it was so hard to play in a first division team. Today, I cannot see this.
Do you find from when you first came to Melbourne City to now,
yes,
the change of that,
definitely,
the young talent has to play more now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even if you are probably in some cases they are not ready, they still have a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he came in with Cahill. And that was the
Yeah,
forward.
Bruno came probably on the back of what people term the peak of the A-League, you know?
Yeah.
He probably had a season.
Massive.
It was
massive. It was beautiful. Actually, surprised me when I arrived playing derbies. Like we couldn't play in Emi Park because
you have to play in Marvel.
Because it was 45,000 people watching the derby.
Yeah,
we'll get to the A-League because I want to spend a lot of time on the A-League. But your first season in Uruguay was very good.
Yeah.
How were you able to burst onto the scene and in your first season make such an impact? Because a lot of people, especially young players, they might struggle in their first couple of seasons.
Because you don't have the second one. That's the thing. That's the difference. That's the pressure.
right.
Yeah.
You don't have the second one. I was talking actually with my family that day. My son asked me more questions about this now and when you start to play, how this and that. Was a little gap there, and actually I played because two of the big players they was not allowed to play the game, and and me and another friend. Now he's playing professional as well, which is actually the coach say in. And then I remember when the speech before the game, actually the coach say, "I hope we win today, but one of the defenders scored the goal, because if you two score, I will be in trouble."
Wow.
What do you mean?
Because coming the big dogs to play,
yeah?
and but
Wow.
so he was
Wow.
honest,
Wow.
like, honest like this.
How old were you at the time?
I was 18.
Wow.
That's young, man.
So were you training with the first team at the time?
Yeah, I was training with the first team, playing with the youth team. We said the reserve, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all of that
And that's
was
at
waiting that
Yeah.
actually that moment.
Do you remember how you felt at that time? Because I remember, especially in South American country, where it's so difficult and there's so much competition and all that. Like, I even had a sniff with the reserves and how big that felt. Like, felt like I was 10 feet tall. Do you remember how it felt at that time? That step, today you're going to play. You know, when you knew you were going to play.
But look, I made my debut before, but just I come on for a couple of minutes, and I was ready because I was training with the first team. So I know the players, so it's a little bit different also about today, because today kids talk, no problem. Before you cannot talk. It was difficult.
Change, yeah.
Shut up and come on.
Yeah.
Pick up the newspaper and bring me here. I want to read it.
You're having to do everything for the older
Man,
players.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Hey, it sucked, huh? It was the worst experience.
Worse. But, actually I have a captain. I have the lucky enough to have a captain, Chengue Morales. You remember the striker scored 2001 against Australia, 2 goals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was the captain in that time, and look, it was amazing. I was lucky he was there, because we was a kid, but we come scoring a lot of goals, so we was a little bit arrogant at the time. But you need this as well,
Of course.
because otherwise they will do like this to you and
kill
you
you.
out. But yeah, I remember to feel like ready, and I know that was the chance.
Wow.
So, did you win the league in the first year or the second year?
No, that year we didn't. Was after I won the league with National, when I come back in.
Oh, when you came back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Europe. You played in, I think it was Italy,
Yes.
Greece,
Yeah.
and Spain.
Yes, Spain. Yeah.
Which out of the three did you learn the most? Because it's very tough when you're going to a different country and different language. and
Italy.
Italy?
Yes.
Johnny Aloisi said
Yeah.
the same as well. He said the
Italy.
defending there for strikers.
Everything.
Wow.
Everything.
Yeah, he did say the same, didn't he?
I think I also improved the way that I use my body,
Okay.
because I'm not a big guy.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine fight with the biggest defender in the world, because in that time Serie A was like the Premier League today.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember I played with Casano, and he's not big as well.
Is he that crazy?
It is.
Yeah.
He's that
It is.
crazy.
Hey,
It
what
is.
did we talk about the other day? Sex before you play?
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
talking about, is it right to have like sex before games and
Well-
stuff? Because in boxing, some people in their fight camp, they do nothing. Or some, they sleep with their partner or whatever.
And what he say?
And Casano is like, no, if I want, I do whatever I want.
Yeah, every
On
game.
day of the game, it doesn't matter, no problem.
But look, he was a different character, man. He's-
What was
look, top.
What was the craziest thing he did, or you can't say?
No. One of them, for example, the street in Italy are very, very small, yeah. And I remember we was driving to the training, and it was, you cannot pass him because it was very, very, very small street. And he saw someone that he knows, and he just parked the car in the middle of and started to talk, and it was a massive line. And I remember, like, And no one can say anything.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like
Why, wait, he's like
he-
crazy
the
or is-
boss? He was the
He's the
boss.
boss.
The
Oh,
Don, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
The boss.
Yeah.
Right, so
okay.
everyone stays silent
Man,
in their car
look,
and wait.
actually, with me, I can't say nothing wrong about him because we was very, very good with me and helped me a lot because he speaks Spanish when he let me go, because he played in Real Madrid. So he was very close to me and the other South American players, and then, but yeah, it was crazy. And then for dinner, for example, everyone like pasta, this and that. Antonio eat completely different.
Oh, really?
Really?
Like
Whatever he
what
wants.
would
Oh,
be something-
prosciutto.
Just enjoy, huh?
But I never see one play with that power in the club.
Really?
Yeah, in the change room. For our holidays, in Italy you have the winter break.
Yeah.
So we want to go back to Uruguay. And I remember another Argentina Botinelli, we went to him, not to the coach.
What?
For extra day.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
And as
How
soon
old
as
was he at the time?
Sorry?
How old was he at the time?
How old was him?
Yeah,
Oh,
at the time.
Mid
oh,
20,
no,
late
yeah,
20?
20 something.
Wow.
That is wild.
But
Power, huh?
and as soon we come, Anto, he say, "Do you want an extra day?" I say yes,
oh my
because
God.
I remember we have to come we have to arrive at 31. He say, "Man, we can't. It's 31. Stay there
Yeah.
with the family. We come back. We fly on first.
Yeah.
We second here. Come on, Anto.
Wow.
You can go.
Who was
You not even say anything with the coach. You say, no worries."
who was a defender back then in Serie A that you remember you had a difficult experience with, or you learnt a lot from? Because then it was incredible, the defender.
Look, I didn't play against. I was on the bench, but was Maldini and Nesta.
So this was the
The
time
prime.
of Serie A
The
prime,
prime,
huh?
like the kids say today.
And
prime.
you said, Bruno, that was the time that you learned to use your body
Yes,
better,
a
right?
lot.
It's
Yes.
pretty infamous, I think, the way you pin defenders
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Especially in the A-League, we all know the way you use your body.
Cool.
Do you feel like that came from Italy or Uruguay?
both, because I have to actually find the way to play like this. As a striker, and I'll be big. I found the way. But remember, look, if we go back when I start to play in Salto, I arrived in a point, it was 11, 12, that I play with my team Saturdays, so with my age. But Sundays, I play with under 15. And some days, I go on the bench with under 18s.
It's so normal in South America.
Yeah, well.
So I play with men's, and I was a kid. So you have to find a way. Otherwise, and I remember there was no VIR, it's nothing. That's just they smash you.
Yeah.
So you learn. I remember now it's so easy.
You know,
Yeah.
can I just say something about this, Bruno? I remember when I came back, right? And I guess you must experience this, but I remember playing in Argentina. I could never receive the ball without having a touch, getting felt, right?
Yeah.
Getting kicked. And I remember the first time I came back, training here, I got the ball and I'm like, I can turn. Why is no one kicking me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because the pressure was so high and they were just always on your touch that you just got so used to turning or having that feeling where I remember coming back and my first training, I go, why is no one smashing me?
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
but for me the difference is like bad stuff, like punch.
Like hurt.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know what?
Oh, you mean in the difference?
Back in the day,
No,
now
the
with the
quality of
VIR,
Yeah.
you're safe.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know,
so-
I remember like I start to learn how you
Yeah,
how you
true, 'cause
have
no
to
one can see
yeah,
it.
how
Yeah,
you punch.
yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
I will go for you, no worries. Yeah, you stay in front of him, I will give it.
Yeah,
Done.
but I think it really is unique the way that it's very South American, like what Gav is saying. The way that you play, you look for the player before you look to
That's
control
what I
the
try
ball,
to
and no
teach
one else does that.
Yeah, because that's what I try to teach now the young players. Why you want to jump if your defender is more taller than you? He coming from behind, you a little touch, you are out. You know, they put.
You lose your balance.
Yeah,
done.
you use exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's
what,
so simple.
what do you do in that situation?
I go for the player first.
Ah, okay.
Get him off balance first. Set yourself.
We fight before the ball comes, and then you have to be good enough to with your touch, make sure that you keep the ball. But I can't go 50-50 with someone like Roderick.
Yeah,
It's impossible.
Yeah,
He's
of course.
bigger than me.
Yeah.
Can you maybe speak? We were speaking before, but about South American football in general and just your experience with the physicality.
Oh, it's tough. And like I said, that year was the 2 years that I played in Uruguay was massive learn for me because the way that I have to take care about absolutely everything, how I use my body, but also learn how I not be hurt as well.
Yeah.
You know, I was worried. I know
hit
if
you,
if he will come for hurt me. I know that.
Is this why? Because I just want to touch on this. There's 2 points, but one is you are very smart how you play. That's why you can play now so long and score goals still. I think is that because you always had to think before getting hit by someone. So you have to think ahead. Like all your movements, you're always a step ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can escape sometimes. They will.
Yeah.
They will come and they will hurt you. But of course, you learn when go and when don't. Sometimes you know when the ball come like this, I always say to the defender, I say, "Don't put me the ball like fly." Because I know it's coming. It's in my neck. Yeah. Why? You know? Give me the chance, pull hard, come into my chest, and now I will fight. But if you just put the ball there, flat there.
Yeah.
That's an assist for
It's
a head,
like
for a head knock.
you tell him, say, smash it.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you got from another striker that you use?
For me, go for the body first.
For the body first.
You know
Because
what's
don't
crazy?
jump.
Yeah.
Bruno, you've just said that, and I'll be honest with you, I've not heard many coaches ever coach that.
And also with what he does, I think in Australia, when we're playing the man and the ball, we get taught to use our arms a lot.
Yeah.
If you watch Bruno, he uses his hips and his ass.
Yeah, so
It's
it's
different.
funny, Gavin's story about when he came back and realizing that he wasn't getting crashed into. I remember when I first went to Argentina, after about 3 weeks, I'm like, every time I get the ball, I'm like falling over.
Exactly.
So I remember standing in the shower and like leaning against the wall, just like doing reps of like,
Naked.
I swear to God, bro.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but actually it's like that. Actually, it's like that.
But because I also wonder if there's something about the refs and the coaches don't give you the foul. In Australia, if someone smashes you, the ref and the coach will be like, "Oh yeah, foul."
No, I'm going to tell you.
In Argentina, they don't
Not to
give it
me. Not to me. Not to me.
Yeah, you do argue a lot. Huh?
Oh man. Sometimes
know.
I feel like that, and then, man.
Bruno, I want to know if this is true, right? Because in Argentina, they used to do this growing up. And just talking about that, about fouls and everything, in training, there was never fouls. In Argentina, never fouls.
Never.
And with the lines, if the ball went out 2-3 meters, play on. Play on. Where here, the ball goes
complain
out.
too much here.
Yeah. You play Sheva, you play Rondo, hey, ball's out. You're in the middle.
Out. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Where I remember over there, a little bit over, play on.
Yes, it's
And no
different.
fouls.
Yeah.
So they just get used to, especially in training, getting crunched. And then when it comes to game day, okay, you get your fouls, but you're used to that pressure.
No, I remember when my first step when I started training with the first team, I nutmegged one of the players, the big dog.
Oh, no, big mistake.
I have scratch everywhere. And he kicked me bad after that. Look, I know that, so I wake up, no problem. And he come close to me and say, if you do it again, little kid, I will smash you. You will not play anymore. Trust me. Don't do it again to me this. That's it. And I remember that and I say, what I do now? You know?
Yeah.
But you have to go again.
Yeah.
When you were in Europe,
You have to.
for a country, what's the population of Uruguay?
3.5 million.
Okay, small population.
Very full. Yeah, less than Melbourne.
Yeah.
Wow.
But an amazing football team.
Yep.
You've won the World Cup. When were you the closest, or did you feel like you were going to get a call from the national team? Because you're dealing with, your competition is crazy.
Forlan, Cavani, Suarez.
Yeah, but look, I had the chance when I was in Sampdoria, when I just moved to Italy.
Yeah.
I remember my agent called me and say, look, I received a call from the national team. Be ready. Just try to get minutes, and they will call you. That was... And the competition, Cavani was start to getting bigger and bigger, so I started getting bigger, but I can be there.
Yeah, of course.
That was the point. Like I say, you know what? I'm in the big leagues as well. Like I'm playing in
Serie
Italy.
A, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no problem. Cavani was in Palermo in that time. So
Yeah. Before Napoli.
Yeah, before Napoli.
Yeah.
So he going that way, but still have room. But because I didn't hit minute, I was only 20, and that time Italy was a lot of players like, if you were 20, 21, you're too young.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because I remember that was all the big dogs that was with over 30.
Yeah.
And look, I think I should wait more for my time. I think I get desperate, so this is why I moved to San Lorenzo, because I want to play more, so they can call me, you know.
So sorry, just to get the timeline right. So you did, was it 2 seasons in Uruguay, then you went to Italy,
Yes.
and then back to San Lorenzo?
Yes, I think I should, like I say, I should stay maybe 1 more year in Uruguay to have more minutes, be more ready. But I remember that time National was struggle financially, and the move was very
Financially better
Yeah,
for you,
but much better. No, not only for me, for the club. So the club push you as well. You know, sometimes you know,
right.
the fans don't
Understand.
don't understand why he left. Why? Man, they push me, man.
Yeah, because they need the money, huh?
What do you reckon? It's only my decision.
But
know,
you're not going to say no to Serie A.
You know what I say? No, but at the same time,
Yeah,
the
the
club
fans
could
don't
be
know.
and say, you know what, Bruno,
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you call. In that time was 3.5 million the move. So I think was the biggest in that moment for Uruguay.
Wow.
So
And
I
it's
say-
crazy. If he doesn't take that chance too, the chance not might come again, you know?
no, yes, that's in my case. But if the club give you the support and say, don't move, this is the contract, calm, and next year you score another 15, 20 goals, and you will in 6, not in 3.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
better for the club.
Yeah.
You know, because don't forget Suarez left for 700.
Wow.
Really?
Bruno left for more
Wait,
than-
what? How?
Bruno left for triple that.
What?
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Well, how old was he
700.
when he left, you know? Or around?
What
How
is it?
old was he at the time when he left?
Suarez was
Like, was-
18,
Okay.
I think, 18, 19.
And did you go, you mentioned you went as an international player, you didn't have a European visa at the time?
No, I didn't.
So,
This is how
that's
good.
even-
This is how good this guy is, man.
yeah, that's crazy.
because
massive.
this was crazy. I think I never say this. In that time, the club want to sell me. That's the first. My agent want to do the deal.
Of course.
But what happened? I have another agent call me. So what my agent did was say, okay, you Fornaroli, we need your passport. So they actually take me outside the country. I say, so where I go? To get your passport, because we have 3 clubs, Palermo, Napoli, and Sampdoria. Depend if you get your passport or
Because
not.
you got Italian background.
Exactly. But
Right.
I was playing at the time. And the club say, yeah, you can go. But
Far out.
I'm playing. I have to play.
Yeah.
And they say, no.
You got to go to Italy.
So they took me outside the country just to say it's sold.
Oh.
Oh my God.
So you weren't
but
actually
I
sold at
didn't.
that
Actually,
point?
I was 1 month in Europe.
Waiting.
My agent gave me a bike, and I was around the.
Just a tourist, just
just a
freaking hanging
tourist.
around.
Yeah, take photos.
I remember one day.
On the paper in Uruguay, as
I remember
sold
one day-
to freaking.
But
I don't
Bruno,
forget
is that that's a risk? What if they all say no? You don't know.
Football's crazy, man.
But look at this. I will not say names, but they put me in a small apartment with nothing. They give me. You remember when you put for the internet,
The
the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was with my computer with this, That's it. One guy who would take care about me. My agent was in Uruguay. The other agent lived there in Giulianova, I remember, in Italy. So they give me a bike.
No
So
electrical bike.
I need to training.
To do what with the bike?
With the bike to be around the
Get
city
around.
because it's small,
quicker.
beach, relax. So I say, man, but I need to train. I remember one day I was walking alone in the beach, and was guys playing football there, and they pumping up. My name is Fornaroli coming to Italy, blah blah blah. But I didn't realize this.
Wait, so in Italy they knew too that you were going to one of the big dogs.
Yes. So
Far out.
when I
And you're
arrived
on your
there,
push bike.
no, and I asked the guy if I can play football with them on the beach. I said, but you Fornaroli, you. I said, yeah. I started to play like soccer tennis in the beach. They did with these guys.
This is how. That's
Waiting for your
unprofessional.
Italian passport.
For my Italian passport, I never come.
And then what happened?
And not, one of the agents said to me, they called me, obviously they have my number. And that was not my agent, was different agent, big name in football. And he said, Bruno, we have Juventus. I say,
What?
don't tell me this. Yes. One car will pick you up where you are now, send me the location. The car pick you up, you come to Rome, and then we fix everything. I say, but I have contract with my agent. Don't worry with that. We fix everything, and you sign for Juventus.
Whoa.
And I say, man, how? You just
Turn up.
turn up
Just
in
get
the
in
car.
the car.
That's it. I say,
Get in the car, Bruno.
actually, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
And I call my family. I call my mom and dad and say, "Whoa!" They call me and say, and my dad and say, "What you want me to say?
Yeah.
You know more than me." I say, "Yeah, actually." So I called one friend that was playing, and I said, "Man, this is the situation." He said, "Don't move. Stay there. Don't move. Don't move." But actually, I don't know what happened.
Why did your friend tell you to not go? Does anyone know that you had that a black car was going to pick you up and take you to a mystery place to
Yes.
sign for Juventus? People know this? Have you said that before?
No.
Wow.
This is the first time.
So who was there at the time? Trezeguet. You and Trezeguet up top.
Actually, it was the top Juventus.
Yeah, it's a Del
Yeah,
Piero.
but they make business. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. If
You
you're
know?
not there, they're gonna get
And
another
then maybe
one
I go there
Yeah.
and I have to pay my agent because I brought the contract.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that time. I was 20 years old, and look, I don't have idea.
And was that opportunity also dependent on an Italian passport or no?
No,
So that was just
because
Come, get in the black car.
they probably found a way to make it.
yeah.
In that time, a lot
a
of
big European agent. Yeah, I feel like I know who.
So what I want to
it
know
might
is
be.
what happened with the Italian passport, because this is, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of Australian players that want to go overseas that have a Italian heritage or a Greek heritage or something. They try to get. Is that me?
Well, vice versa though. Also,
And they want to get a passport in Europe, right? But you're in a position where you're dealing with big clubs, big money, big opportunities, and you still couldn't get the passport.
Yeah.
What happened there?
No, I just actually was missing one paper on because I'm the fifth generation, so was very old and could be problem with when was the war and then so even Sampdoria put me lawyers after.
Yeah.
So because that was the real problem for me.
That was the hurdle.
That was one of the biggest reason that I didn't stay there because I couldn't find a club with room for me.
Yeah.
Because I have offers, but as soon as I say no, look, I don't have the passport. I didn't find the way to get it out.
can I just put this on top, Bruno? When you were going to first team, right? When you were in Nacional, were there ever times where people were like, "Oh, Bruno, maybe you should start doing your Italian passport or get your European passport done"?
Yeah,
And-
that's what. But the agent straight away do that.
And
That's
did
what they
you-
want. Is the 90% of the deal.
Yeah, it's
That's the
hardest
reality.
part,
If
hardest
you were
part.
to,
Exactly.
for young players now that do have European passports or whatever, would you tell them to start getting them done?
Yeah, if they have the chance and that's what they want, yeah, you have to.
Because even, for example, I have friends that I grew up with that just because they have Italian background, if they have an Argentinian passport, it's very hard to get into Australia. Once they get Italian, visa done straight away.
Yes,
You know?
exactly. Yes,
of
that's
Europe.
So not just because of football, but also life circumstances,
yes.
it's important to have.
Yes. Look, with my Aussie passport now, I go everywhere, and no one cares.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, before when I went to Europe, and you show what you're doing here, where is your money, blah, everything.
Yeah, wow.
Did you ever
With the
think
Uruguay.
you would have an Australian passport?
No.
man? Wow. It's
Not really.
how did the first contact come to you about Australia? Like when did that even become a real option for you?
Look, funny thing was, we was joking before we Aaron Mooy. You remember when is the April? The 1st of April? Is when
April Fools.
Yes.
Yes.
City post. Like,
Yes.
I was ready to play for Australia in that point, and I asked Aaron Mooy for a shirt. So Aaron was playing the national team, of course, and I remember to call my lawyer, and I asked her like, "Can I play for because you play under 17, and it's not possible." And the FIFA rules in that moment don't allow you to play if you play for other countries.
Youth team.
Youth team, yes.
Yeah.
So, but I start to put this in my mind. But football, you never know. I leave this because there was no option for me. And as soon they changed the rule, FIFA changed the rule, I was in the process to get the passport. So I remember was Perth Glory against Adelaide, in Adelaide. Before the game, I'm the first couple of games I was scoring goals, and I come to sport director Terry McFlynn. So I say congratulations to him. Now he won the Premier with Auckland, and I say, Terry, if you get my passport, I want to play for Australia. He look at me and say, "See, you want to play for Australia?" I say, "Yeah, of course." Okay, because he was with Arnie in Sydney.
Of course.
So
This is Terry McFlynn.
Terry McFlynn, yeah.
Yeah.
They know each other. So okay, I will call him, and I will let him know that you're very close to get your passport.
So Arnie was the national team coach at the time?
Yes. This was before the game. I think I'm scoring that game, and I keep doing well. And it start to come. Arnie say, we would love to, if you have the passport, to call you. And I said, wow, now it's getting
Real.
serious, yeah. And COVID hit and the process, and then that time, I remember to get the passport, and he called me and I said, I can't believe it, I will play for Australia.
So this is probably because you kill Arnie's Sydney team sometimes with City. That's why it's easy.
After my first year, they called me. Sydney called me, and
really?
yes.
Because so
Actually, Terry called me.
before we maybe go into some of the Socceroos caps, because we'll talk about Melbourne City. How did that conversation come? Because you obviously speak of playing in some of the best leagues in Europe. You had a really good time in Uruguay. You learnt a lot in Europe. Why then Australia? Like, how did that happen?
The reality was I was playing Copa Libertadores with Danubio in Uruguay, and we did really, really well. We are a young team. And one scouting from City Group called me and say, we have a team for you. And I was without agent, so I was easy to speak, and then the club will let me go, and then he say, we have New York City. Oh, I said, perfect. Yeah, perfect. 2 days later, call me and say, we have Melbourne City. I said, where is Melbourne City? You told me like New York City. No, Melbourne City. No, it's in Australia. I said, no, man.
How old were you at the time, Bruno?
27, I think.
Yeah.
I say, And I have offers in Argentina and you know,
Okay.
close to
Yeah,
home.
close to
Yeah, to
Uruguay.
home,
1
yeah.
hour, 2 hours.
And in your head at the time, what is Australia and what is Melbourne?
rugby.
Rugby. Yeah.
That's
At
that's the
time,
truth.
You hadn't even been to
Yeah.
Australia.
No, I didn't know anything
But
about
surely
it.
you knew Australia, we like Uruguayan Socceroos. It's like a big rivalry. Like Recoba to me growing up was like the devil.
Yeah, but
you know?
maybe for Australia, not from Uruguay.
Uruguay don't care.
Uruguay actually, when we lost against Australia,
Qualifiers was a holiday.
was a disaster in Uruguay.
Yeah, of course, right?
How? They don't play football. They play rugby. That's what the people say in that time. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
On the news, in the pressure, imagine this. Oh, we have Recoba, we have this, we have...
Yeah.
And we lose against Australia.
It's kind of true though, because at the time when we beat Uruguay, we barely have a professional league. Like
Yeah,
I don't know even if the A League was 1 year alive then, or if it just started. It was
I
05.
don't know.
Yeah, around that time.
So
what was the A-League...
2005 at start. 2005, Aloisi scored the penalty.
It was just the
So
NPL.
exactly.
So it's like we don't even have a real competition
Exactly.
almost.
So
Yeah.
that's the reality. That was the reality.
Yeah.
Now it changed, but
Where
that
were
was
you?
the reality.
Do you remember where were you watching that game? Were you watching it?
I watched in the first one was 2001.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
one was
yeah,
I was
that's when you
I
win.
went to the stadium.
Aye,
you went to the
Montevideo.
Yes,
Yeah.
Montevideo was my first year in Montevideo.
Wow.
So I remember
The 2005 though. Do you remember where you were?
2005. I don't remember.
Don't remember.
I don't remember. But yeah,
You want to forget that, huh? Today you want to
So-
forget.
I'm the other side now. So
Yeah.
That's true. That's
yeah.
true.
Are
That's
you
true.
are you the people know the people like that about the fact that you can't play for the team that plays rugby?
look, actually, the people took in a good way in
Okay.
Uruguay.
For
Yeah,
you.
so
It's good.
Yeah, so it's good. Look, I made my career here 10 years already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Unbelievable.
crazy.
So you hear about Melbourne City and you say no.
I say no, like 10 times.
Yeah, but
No,
then
I'm
He
not
called me
playing
every
rugby.
single day, and I say no.
yeah.
And when they speak about numbers, the reality is also that we not compete.
With New York.
New York.
With New York, no. We
Anyone.
Argentina.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay.
Because New York, that was the name to
Get you.
get my attention.
Just to get this clear, Bruno, before the club in Uruguay, you had a little stint in Argentina at San Lorenzo. Is that right?
Yeah, by San Lorenzo was 2009. So this is what we're talking
Before.
about. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
This is
before
2015. Yeah.
And then when you were there, what were the offers you were getting in Argentina?
When I was in Argentina.
Yeah.
No, I was on loan from Italy, so I have to come back.
Oh,
And then I went on loan to Spain as well
Yeah.
because I feel like my game suit more for
Yeah.
Football.
football in Spain.
Yeah.
But this will come later.
So you're saying that at that time, because I don't know if it's the same now, maybe you can answer that as well, but the salaries in Argentina were more than Australia?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And still now, would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
By
first
far.
division, I'd say.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
By far.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
By far.
And what about Uruguay?
Some clubs maybe.
Yeah, but you have clubs like Nacional and Peñarol that they can pay.
So how come you
Big
said
money.
yes to Melbourne? What was the reason?
Because the project. Actually, one day they say to me, you know what? We understand. I say, look, I don't know about Australia. I don't know about the league. I called Barbarousis in that time because I played with him in Panathinaikos.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And Barbarousi was in Melbourne Victory, and I will come to City. I say, brother, how is that? Oh, you will love it. It's good. The league is going up. So he talked very, very, very good about the league. But I still say no. And they call me and they say, you know what? It's fine, but we want you to come to Manchester just to show you the project. That's it. Really? Simple as that. Wow. Say when? This week if you want. Bang. And never happened like this in my career. I was in a big club, but no one treat me in that way. Look like you have absolutely everything. So I just fly to Manchester and say, you want to come with the family, this, that, whatever, tickets, whatever, everyone.
So who when you go to Manchester, the City group is what we know, but who from the City group? Is there people from Manchester
Yeah,
City
from
you're meeting as well? Like,
Yeah, from Manchester City. Yeah.
oh yeah. So do you
Like
know?
was the club was there? Brian, what's the name? Brian Marun, I think is the name.
Okay, yeah,
he
yeah.
was.
He's still the main guy, right?
Yeah, I think they control the club here.
Yeah. So he sends coach
Yeah.
to this place, maybe player. We have
Yeah,
spot.
or I think they help City or
Yeah.
All the clubs.
all the clubs
Yeah.
around. And I think depend the club, depend the people who, for example, you will have City, you will have Yokohama or
Yeah.
whatever.
Girona.
And-
Is there anything about that presentation that sticks out in your memory that made you have the decision of, yes, I'm going to go to Melbourne? Or was it just the fact that they did that? They went to the effort to make the presentation?
Yeah, because
for you?
I remember I remember to have Defensa y Justicia in Argentina. It's a small club, but they offered me triple the City, and I just crossed in a boat, book a bus,
Yeah.
and I was there half an hour.
But so in that presentation, that
In the
with the City
presentation,
group,
they say-
what was it about that presentation that
They
made
said,
you
"Oh,
go?
look, we bought a new club. The league is growing, and we need like players like you, and you have the chance to do well, and we move you around.
Wow.
So this
Oh, so
will
you
be
can start in
opportunity
Melbourne. Yeah.
opportunity
Start
for
here.
you to grow as a player, to also release your career again, because I was back in Uruguay, but was different. But everything that they showed me there, the facilities in Manchester, I never see something like that.
Yeah.
Never. I was in Milan facilities, amazing, but you cannot compare with Manchester.
Yeah, they're the best.
It's unbelievable,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
crazy, and everything. Like I ask, like, oh, this, that. No worries, we fix it. You worry about play. That's it. And actually, after when I say yes, when I wait for the visa to come to Australia, they call me and they say, Bruno, obviously you need to training. You want to train in New York City, or you want to come to Manchester to training? And you were training with under 21, who was Patrick Vieira's coach.
Oh.
And I said, no, I go to Manchester. Cool.
Yeah. Nice.
So, family, everyone in Manchester, look, crazy.
So how long were you there for in Manchester?
Like 10 days.
Perfect.
And I remember the first team was playing games here. Against Melbourne City, they play. I think,
Yeah, I was at that
in-
game against Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Me too. I
yeah,
was
so
there. Yeah.
I have all the facilities there. And then, look,
Wow, man.
different class.
And then you arrive in Melbourne, in Australia.
and at that time, they were training on the other side.
Bandura.
Bandura.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that
Yes.
that's a change from
That's a
Manchester
shock.
City, huh?
Look,
It's not the same.
it's not the same, but I come from Uruguay, eh?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I think people
Yeah.
need to understand.
Yeah. This is
Is where, like, Uruguay, the facilities, obviously you have your Penarolles, your Nacionals, but the other clubs and also your junior level growing up, some of the change rooms, some of the facilities would have been very, very different what anyone has seen here.
Yes.
Like even kids now that train on synthetic, impossible.
No,
over
no,
there.
you don't have a
Impossible.
chance to have synthetic.
Yeah.
No, only maybe big clubs have maybe one field or synthetic, but it's not chance.
Wow.
No,
Dirt,
because
dirt at best.
it's no money. It's, and then I don't know how the players or how we did to become like a
Yeah.
professional players, and then it's different. It's different.
Do you feel also, I felt, especially myself, is growing up and having those experiences, when you do now play on good surfaces, you appreciate it so much more.
Yeah, of course. But look, as a player, you always complain.
Yeah. Of course.
There's
Doesn't
always
matter.
something.
Even now, Amy Park complain that pitch.
Especially
not
No,
good.
but Amy
Footballer,
Park
huh?
now
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
let me
that's
tell
why
you.
That's why I said it. Amy Park, Suncorp, and Allianz plays like rugby now.
You cannot
fields.
stay on your feet.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
know.
matter if you start or whatever. You cannot stay on your feet.
Yeah,
It's crazy. As
the
soon
gr-
as start the rugby league,
changed straight away. The grounds,
done.
huh?
You cannot. You cannot play.
You know, Western United the other night, 10 days ago, they play in Suncorp. They can't warm up on the pitch. They have to warm up out the back before the game because the pitch is so bad.
So bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And we are close to the finals. The exciting moment of the year, and you will play in that surface.
Yeah. As
Seriously.
we talk about how rough Uruguay is.
When you get here and you start training, did you think it was better than you thought, or not as good as you thought? And which players stood out in the team? Like, whoa, he's good in your first Melbourne City team.
Look, in that City team, I have 2 players that was unbelievable. One is Aaron Mooy, and the other one was Harry Novillo. I don't know if you remember him.
Novillo, yeah, of course, French. Can you tell us about we're obsessed
forgot
with?
about him.
We're obsessed with Aaron Mooy. Like we speak about him a lot. He follows the show, huh?
I think so, yeah.
Shout out Aaron Mooy.
He's a good friend.
Can you tell us what about him? Because for us, he was like a unicorn. You know, he was different to any Australian player we've ever seen.
I think the big difference between Aaron and the rest, he don't care.
Oh wow.
Man, here, what I realize a lot is like the coach say, you have the pass there. And after, the player take the ball, and someone is marking this guy, and the player still pass there. Because the coach says it's a pass there. No, it's your decision after. You decide inside the field. Sorry, my friend.
Yeah, of course.
I respect the coach, but I take the decision.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I listen to the coach. I know what he say. He give tips. He can help you, but I take the decision.
Yeah.
I'm the guy inside the field, not him.
Of course.
It's not playing.
Yeah.
And I think this, exactly what you said, is the difference between good players and great players.
Exactly. But I have discussion with some of the players actually now, and I say, look, if you pass the ball there, it's simple pass, perfect, and you take the ball again, you do the simple pass again. Yeah, great. But if you see me there, and because that one is a little bit risky, and you still passing there, your level will be always here.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Aaron Mooy will go for that one.
Take risks.
Exactly. And that one could make another assist for Aaron Mooy.
It's almost like the coach has to leave Aaron Mooy free.
And
You know?
in some point, Aaron miss if you watch the game back in that time, Aaron miss a lot.
Yeah.
But because
You do a lot.
Straight.
he do a lot, he try and assist another one. What the coach will say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop to try.
Of course.
Of course no.
Am I remembering that he is extremely strong? Is that like
So strong.
like a rock, huh?
So strong.
Yeah,
so
but-
strong.
Which I don't
He
think.
also he know how to use the body as well.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Because he's not a quick guy, huh? Like running wise, he's not quick.
I always say it's not who is faster, it's who arrive first.
Yeah. Take that one home.
Put
bro.
that on there.
That's
We'll
a
put
clip,
that on
bro.
the top, man.
That's a
On
clip.
poster,
Hey,
bro.
Yeah, hey, we got to put that up here. It's right first.
Otherwise, I cannot play football, man.
The unofficial fifth member.
Man, I'm not hitting 35, and my GPS never. If I'm 31, they will say, "Oh, Bruno, you fast today." Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So-
doesn't matter.
When you have 2 incredible seasons, which games to you stuck out? Was the derby a shock to you? Like, oh my God, they have this over here? Especially the first couple of
Yes.
derbies at Marvel. Was that a shock to you?
Yes, a shock in different ways.
Yeah.
First one, because fans was walking together,
Mwah.
Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
and I say, "Sorry, they don't fight.
Yeah.
They don't kill each other. Like
That-
that's impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible." Actually, a couple of, I think now they come back to be both fans at the stadium, because otherwise you play away, it's only national or Olympian, that's it.
It's really
Well,
so. Only
Argentina
just
now
started.
at
They
the
just
moment,
come
yeah.
back together.
Wow.
When you were growing up, did they, obviously it was fans together,
Yeah.
did they have to wait 30 minutes before they got released?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
that's
have to
normal.
wait. But one of my first, look how crazy it is. I scored a lot of goals in Clásicos, Justi. So everyone talk about me because I'm score goals in that
The
game.
Clásico, that's, yeah.
That's the most important for everyone.
Yeah.
they don't. Sometimes you lose the tournament, but if you win the
The
both
classic or
derby,
chow?
It's win everything.
they don't care. And was one Clásico that the coach, I was not even making my debut, but he called me to be with the first team. I didn't play that game, but just in case, because I was scoring the Clásico.
What?
And I remember that night, we was in where we training, that we have the facility there to sleep, and like 10 p.m., our captain, Morales, knocked the door. Guys, the fans are here. Man, we go outside, we have like a playroom, and was like 30 fans inside. And I remember even with a gun,
Yeah.
tomorrow, like this. And they show like, what? We will die outside, but you have to die inside, like this. And I was laughing because I feel like I was nervous, but I was laughing. And I was like, yes. Yes. You know what I mean?
die for you,
like,
huh?
this is what I want.
Yes.
So they had
That's-
the
that
fans
pressure
were
they
waiting.
want.
The fans were waiting, and someone had a gun saying, "If you don't win tomorrow, finished."
They will not say like if we don't
No,
win
they say
tomorrow.
they'll
They say
die
like
out
we
there.
will die outside.
We will die fighting.
I thought
if you die fighting.
I thought they brought
Yeah.
the gun in to be like, listen.
we both die together, but they actually might die.
I remember that it was one of the play that because he took a couple of red cards
Yeah.
in important games, his car disappeared.
Really?
Like stole the
Oh
car.
my gosh.
Like, so
It's
So,
was
so
different.
then you're in Melbourne, and you're.
But
you
here
see the
I was
fans
in
together?
Melbourne and they were together, and I say, and they was talking about pressure. I say no, pressure. No pressure.
You have fun out there.
Just go enjoy.
Were they your favourite games to play in, the derbies?
100%.
Yeah. Because
It's the game that I want to be there, you know?
you were a villain for Melbourne Victory
Yeah.
fans.
Hey, so can you tell him what you told me the other day?
Oh,
You
what-
said
You
Bruno-
can tell because I hear a lot about
No,
this.
see,
no
he's a Melbourne
problem.
Victory fans, and he said, "I said, man, Bruno, really nice guy." He goes, "But he's a good villain, huh?"
yeah,
Like
just
you know, villain.
ev-
what do you mean?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
every time we played Melbourne City, I thought, even if we win, he's going to score. So we have to just, it's almost like add a goal for them already because he's going to score. He's so annoying. He's so annoying. He will, like you said, use your body, get in front of players, annoy them. I said,
Get
he's,
fouls,
get
fight
fouls.
with
I
the
said,
ref.
he's gonna be another annoying.
I was trying, and also that without VAR, you try to get advantage of everything.
Yeah.
And that's how I play.
You have to.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's it's South American way,
It's
huh?
you or
like
me.
to play.
That's it.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
how I play football. It's you win or I win.
Yeah.
Who
Uh,
was the toughest defender in the A-League? You say that gives you a hard time.
Oh, I don't remember his name. He played in Sydney. He cross corner and shoot free kick.
Oh, Boschart? No.
I think that his name
Boschart?
like a little
Yeah. It's the left foot.
left foot.
Yeah.
He was
I don't
hard,
even
man.
remember this player.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pascal
I think he
Boschart?
went to China. Or
Yeah, maybe. I think I'm maybe thinking of the right one.
And what was challenging about him?
he was very strong, but very smart. Like I tried to use my body, and he always find a way to push me to get me out of the game. Was difficult, and he was fast. He was tall and strong, but he was sharp. You know,
Yeah.
because look, I prefer like people say, "Oh, you fight with biggest, like tallest defender, stronger." I prefer them. I don't like the sharpened one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
They're smart.
I prefer them.
So then, in terms, you spoke about the fans in Australia or in Melbourne. What was your experience or the way that you would assess the quality of the league at that time, first few years?
What was good? What was not so good? Like when you came, the football wise.
Oh, look, in terms of the fans, you say?
No, on
just in
the
general,
game,
yeah.
the actual football.
The actual
much
football.
quality, different quality. I think it was better quality. Than
Oh,
to
yeah?
Yes.
Than you thought.
But so what about with like when you first come? Was the speed good? The physicality good?
More quality
More
on
quali-
the field. More
just
players
individual
that
player.
Compared to today.
Yes, more
Okay.
players,
Yeah, okay.
smarter players.
Yeah.
Today is
Right.
then more physical. You know.
Right.
Today is up and down, up and down, up and down without think.
Wow. When did that happen? Like, when did that? Do you think that changed? COVID or before?
yeah, after COVID.
COVID, I reckon.
COVID
Sure.
killed everything.
Yeah. Okay, it's interesting.
I think until then the league was good.
yeah.
We had players like really, really good players and talent, and like, for example, I remember Diego Castro in Perth. Unreal.
Yeah, special. Everyone who play against him and Ninkovic. I think
Ninkovic's
when
amazing as well.
you stop, people will say the same about you.
Oh,
Like in this discussion
Man.
of Australia's best visa players, for sure.
Yeah.
They'll start talking about you.
in
but
another
maybe 'cause just-
5 years.
Yeah,
Come on.
The way you run, huh? And get the fouls, you can play longer.
But now it's everything about GPS.
yeah,
It's crazy, isn't
Perfect. I get it.
it? What are
Please.
your thoughts? Can we get your thoughts?
Yes, I want to say this.
Yeah.
Yes,
please.
please.
It has to be fun. Otherwise, you
Yeah,
you
yeah.
will invite me again.
you already passed.
I think, look, you know what we can do? When I'm still, we have to find a way to create a GPS that say how many passes you complete,
Yeah, right.
how many forward passes
The
you
distance
play,
with the ball, huh?
how many times you risk, how many crosses you actually put in the box and not outside,
Yes.
how many times you play backwards or not forward.
Yes, this is big, huh?
Oh yeah, but he hit 13 Ks. And what?
Yeah.
And what? Tell me what happened, but what he provide?
This is
Bruno, I had the perfect
look.
example of this because I'm against GPS, right? Because I remember when I came back, I was playing for Dandy City. We had this boy. He run. We did the tan. You know the tan?
Yeah.
We did the tan. He beats everyone by 4 minutes. Then we have a game on the weekend. Centre back. Ball comes. Bad control. Striker scores. I walked in at halftime. I say, Coach, this guy can run for his whole life, but he can't control the ball. And we concede. We're 1-0 down. Who cares how fast he runs?
Exactly.
what are you, Casano, man?
Hey, you know what I always joke with the boys. I say, if I will not be a coach, maybe.
Well, I don't. You maybe.
Maybe. No, look,
I can
don't-
see you be one.
No. I will be too
Striker
crazy.
Pacific.
No. Look, I don't like 24/7. Nah.
It's stress, huh?
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Maybe for the kids or something, I have more fun.
Big
Yeah.
hitman. You be good hitman.
Yeah.
In and out.
Man, but I always say, if I'm a coach, first day of preseason, I will do a test. The first two that arrive in the test, they will never play with me. Probably my captain will become the last
one.
the last
Everyone's
one of the
gonna
last
be
three. I don't care.
Do you
I
think?
want to play football. Look, I'm not against the GPS.
Yeah.
I'm not against.
It's
I think
modern
if you
technology.
provide a lot of
But
stuff.
it shouldn't be number one, right?
But man, you have to think. It's football, isn't it? You have to play.
Yeah, of course.
Play.
Do you think it's? Do you think the younger players agree with you, or do you think it's more the older players that think this way? Like, does Nish think this?
Niche, yeah.
Yeah, so it's normal what you think, right? Every
Yeah,
player wants to
yeah,
play more
yeah.
than run more.
I think every player understands this. Even players that are fit, like myself, I know that I wish I could be the player that's lazy and I'm just amazing technically. I
That's
think
how I
every
am.
player that really knows football and is honest knows this.
I think. That's
Everyone
what I
knows.
think.
This is
Yeah.
also the
Yes.
perfect example. How many times in training, right, the coach pre-season goes, we do a yo-yo test. How many times does that yo-yo test result matter if you start round one? Never.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I don't know. 5 month preseason here.
5 months, yeah. Actually, yeah. How have you? Now you've been here 10 years. Because our seasons are short, huh? Compared to how you.
Too short.
Is it
Too
good?
short.
Is it good for you that they're short?
Nah.
But the preseason is also mentally it's long.
I want to
huh?
play.
Yeah,
I don't want to run 5 months.
yeah. It's tough, huh?
It's tough. It's difficult. It's boring.
Yeah, it's boring, man.
And you lose that football spark.
You want to play. Every
Yeah.
single player want to play.
'Cause
Look,
in-
and also, again, you play here in Australia. Perfect. You have a great season. Perfect. How many games you hit? If you're lucky enough, 30.
Yeah,
30, yeah.
30.
If you didn't play Champion League, Asian Champion League, you will be 30. If you have some problems during the season, maybe you play 27, 26, 25.
Yeah.
And then you go Europe.
50,
70,
60.
60.
Yeah, and sometimes I hear here like, oh, he's tired. Maybe he will not start because he's tired. It's 26 game, man. You tired of
It's
war.
the season is pre-season.
You tired of war.
Yeah.
Bruno,
So, for me, it hurts a lot when I have to miss one game.
you scored 57 goals in 83 appearances.
Yeah, this
For Melbourne City.
man.
That's just for City. Surely you were getting offers from overseas.
Yeah.
You don't have to say where, but
I say, no problem.
No, you can
split.
say.
He told us Juventus,
okay,
man.
yeah.
Surely he can
Where
tell
were you
us.
getting offers from?
I received one Gamba Osaka,
Wow, it's big club.
Okay, yeah,
big club,
yeah.
after the first year. In Agarafa,
Oh, and
In Qatar?
In Qatar.
Oh, wow.
that was the
big money.
Yes,
Yeah,
both of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the club in that time, they say, look, we're building the club.
Yeah.
And I say, look, I have to go. This is the offer. And say, look, we built the club. And for our fans, like, if you play one season and leave, it look like it's not
Serious.
it's not serious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is when I become a marquee.
Wow.
Ah,
That's
okay.
yeah.
So,
I was gonna
okay,
say.
huh? Big
So
player.
big money, it was okay, but look, was more money outside. But I think about I want to be stable as well. You know,
Your
I
family.
feel like I find the place. I play good football, like we talked before. Like I want to do it again. I want to do it
Because
again.
up until that time, did you have a club where you felt stable, where you were going back-to-back seasons?
No, really. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the problem. This is why I also decided to stay, because it's difficult to adapt again in another club, another
language.
language,
So
culture,
you
everything.
know the risk of the change.
Exactly.
huh?
So I say,
Yeah.
for once, yes, calma.
Yeah.
Family
calma.
was happy as well,
Yeah.
and so we decided to stay.
So your kids, they're practically, they are. They're Australian, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Born here?
My son born in Melbourne, and
Wow.
my daughter born in Uruguay, but she came with 1.5.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
And so, was there any club that you were really seriously considering? A time where you're like,
In your time since you've
Maybe
been in
I
the
will.
A-League, any club?
Yeah, even if you were at
almost,
Perth
almost
or-
left, that you
Yeah.
almost did go.
no. I think it was Gabo Osaka was the
big one.
Yeah.
The big
Yeah,
one.
you would have been you in Japan would be nice, huh?
Look.
Especially then, wow.
Yeah,
You would have enjoyed.
but I can't complain. I always all my decisions that I took are coming from inside, from the heart. My father always said to me when I ask him, "What you think?" My father said, "You know." He never say this one or think this or think that. No, say you know. And I say, yeah, I know.
Bruno, does the lifestyle of Australia also keep you around?
Yes, as well. But I always want more. So that means like you have to find a way to provide more every year. I think the day that I say, I don't have nothing more to give, goodbye.
Yeah. Can I ask Bruno?
Yep.
I know every time I saw you, and I know there's going to be a lot of Melbourne Victory fans watching, which you have, for some reason, you're always loved by the fans, huh? A lot. And Victory as well, which is interesting because, man, I was on Paramount at the start of this year saying, hey, Bruno needs to play, the goals aren't coming, da-da-da. But for you, with your type of player that you are in the A-League, you've always been the main striker, the main person in the team almost, the captain, etc. How did you find, particularly with Poppy, you come and you play, and then with PK, it's almost like 1 week maybe play, 2 weeks maybe not. Like the mentality you had there, maybe because you're older you could deal with it better, but how did you deal with that? Yeah, like that. I even, when I see you coming out, I can see in your eyes, like, you know, it hurts.
Look, when I decided to come to Victory, I will. When I was in Perth one day, I was playing away, and my wife called me, and my son walking around the house with a Victory shirt.
In Perth?
What?
In Perth. I say, what is that? And my wife say, he love it.
What?
What I will say, no. I say, all right.
Where did he get it from?
Because I was Adidas playing that time.
Ah.
So they went to the shop and he saw the shirt. He said, "I want that one. I want that one. I want that." And in that moment, I was like, ex-City player.
Yeah.
So my wife, because we come from Uruguay, you say, "Oh, you never can be for the other team." Yeah, you can never change. So probably Daddy will say something. But look, he will decide whatever he want. So he was with Victory shirt. and
Oh my god!
yeah, no, I say, "Look, what you doing?" "Oh, I love Daddy. I love." "Well, all right, fine." And after that, come the chance to come to Victory. And look, I remember when I scored my first goal against Newcastle. I come on the first game.
I was here. I was there this game for Victory.
Yes.
Yeah.
And was like, yes, I
Was
started well,
Penalty.
penalty.
Yeah, I remember, man. Fuck.
And I remember to went to celebrate because for me it was heavy. Like, look, come on, I'm in your side now.
Yeah. Shit.
And I saw player fans doing like this.
Victory fans. Victory fans.
Victory fans are doing like that.
And Bruno's like,
And I was like, I swear on my life. And they was doing like this. And I was celebrating the goal. And look, and I say, all right, it will be difficult.
Even after you score.
It will be difficult. And I say, and that actually give me extra.
Yeah. Shit.
I will show you that I'm here. I'm in your side.
And now they chant
I
your
will
name.
look. And actually now I talk with a lot of fans, and they say, like, thank you. You are the player that you play with the passion for the club, and we can see that. And that's who I am.
I remember when you first come. When you come here, when you come to Victory, you're 35 or 36.
No, 35.
35. And when you come, everyone's like, it's Bruno.
Too old,
Too old. Can he run?
I'm sick of this,
your
man.
Your first, and with proper teams, you have to run, right?
Oh.
So everyone's questioning, well, how's it going to work? And then maybe because of the fans doing stuff like that, but I remember watching you. You ran so much. You were so fit at the time, and then you started scoring. Like the penalty you mentioned, I'm pretty sure that was that was a lot of pressure on that moment.
Exactly. For me, imagine if
Like-
I missed that one.
But even the score as well. You
And
needed
also
to
we
score.
was not a great season because you remember I come in the middle of the
Correct.
season,
So
which was not great at the
season,
moment.
It needed something, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember with that's when you won them over. I think.
And then that's going the derby, and I think that was the break point.
That was the one.
That was the one, and they saw me celebrate as
celebrate?
well. Yeah.
You have to.
I will not celebrate in the derby.
We speak about this all the
we
time.
spoke about this last week.
We speak about this every week, I
What
think.
was your points of view then with celebrating against your old team? What
said
did
you
you
No,
should.
You should?
you should. I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it's,
Look, I think depends.
It
Depends
depen-
where.
it
In
can
the
depend.
moment, depends how you left, I don't know, depend what happened. I have a massive respect for Melbourne City, don't get me wrong. And I left just because one coach, because the
so you
club.
didn't have a bad breakup, like in a
No,
way?
with the club.
No,
Not with the club.
just
Absolutely
one.
no.
You don't play as much as you want, and then you go right, like it's normal.
Look, we have complete different idea, and I feel like the guy was. I'm very honest,
Yeah.
and I cannot work with people like that are not honest.
Do you find it hard being very honest though in the football industry? Because sometimes
Yes, I pay a
honesty.
big price.
Yeah, this is what we speak about. This like
Massive.
we think like footballs is you almost have to be a bit fake.
Look, I have a discussion on this a lot of the time with a lot of people like, Bruno, you cannot be like this. Look, I'm still playing at 37, and I will own my career honest with every single people. I don't care if it's the CEO, the coach, or the owner of the club. I don't care. If you have to walk away, I will walk away. But I will not sell what my parents give to me.
yeah.
And this is why sometimes they say, Bruno left again. I hear when I left Melbourne City, Perth Glory. People don't know what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They be, ever is again. What do you mean?
Can you say what happened or no?
Yeah, literally, I sound like
Okay.
like I'm not gonna talk.
Going back to Victory at the start of. No, that's fine.
No, look,
That's fine.
Bang.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Going back to victory at the start of this season, I remember the Australia Cup game we're at.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I was just looked at Jacob. Why the fuck's Bruno on the bench?
Yeah.
But how did you deal with that? Because you are very honest as well, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Even for younger players to hear, how did you deal with you're not playing, you're not playing, you're not playing, you're not playing? What got you through?
This year was very difficult.
Yeah.
Still,
For the most difficult you've ever experienced.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
especially in Australia,
in A League for sure. Yeah.
for sure. And because a couple of points. First one because what I did last year
You play well.
for the club.
You did well. Yeah.
I think we get amazing season.
Yeah.
We lost in the last 2 minutes the grand final. I scored a lot of goals, and I have the chance to play for Australia in the Asian Cup, and it was a top season, and I was ready to hit again. That's when I come this year and I say, I will do it again, better.
Yeah.
That's who I am. But as soon as I arrive,
It's not like this.
man, I'm playing professional for 20 years. I know what happened. I can feel it. That's the point. Because no one say anything. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
You can
but
see it happening,
I
yeah.
hate that, man.
Look.
If
You
you
know
wanna
what
be
is the
second-
problem? You know what is the problem? No one wanna take the risk.
Yeah.
No one wanna say, you know what, Bruno, we will not consider you this year. But say to me in July, no, on the last day
Of preseason.
of preseason when I cannot find another club and I have to stay just in case something
And that's what
happens.
happened. That's what
how,
happened.
And that's how football clubs work. Huh? It's like the business is more
But
important.
look, take the decision. I'm not. If you look, I respect. If you want to bring a new coach,
Yeah.
I respect that,
Yeah.
and I respect that the coach maybe you not suit in his style or he want to do different thing. Perfect, I agree with that. But call me and say, Bruno, look, you will not play. You will not have the minute that maybe you want or whatever. Have literally a normal conversation with me. Maybe I will like it or no, but at the end of the day, I will be grateful because you will be honest with me. You look my eyes, you say what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I
But
ask
here, the problem is like, what happened if Bruno go another club in the A League and
do
score
well.
another 18 goals?
Which would happen. Huh?
Can you being a competitive person, I'll play the other side, right? If you were the coach, because there's one thing to be honest, but in that situation, would you tell a player that you know you might need them at some point and they're going to hurt you if they go to another club? Would you tell that player that early on in the season and know that they're going to then leave? Would you tell them?
Look, what I think here in Australia, first thing, we miss a sport director. One thing. Because the sport director is the guy who sits down with the coach and say, or the guy who decide, okay, I want you because I like the style and I think it's good for our club. And sit down with him and say, look, we have these players. Okay. In this case, for example, you have 2 number 9 because Jean was here and I was there.
Yeah.
We want to bring another number 9. Perfect. No problem. You don't like who? Bruno or Jean? Perfect. So I go to Bruno and say, Bruno, we will bring another number 9 in July. And deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of football.
It's part of football.
That's your
Deal with
job,
that. Look,
yeah.
we want to go in another way, or we want younger players, or whatever you want to say.
Or we bring competition.
Or
we're
bring
not sure
yeah,
who we're going to start.
yeah, but you don't need 3 number 9 for
one striker.
for 26 games.
and then you find yourself in that position, right? Now you're at the club and you're not playing and you're seeing what's happening day to day or week to week. If you were to give advice to a younger player that's in that position who feels like maybe they should be playing or they deserve to play or they've proved themselves they're not playing, how did you deal with it and how do you think you should deal with it in that situation for a younger player?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because look, everyone want to play, especially when you feel like you arrive, you can provide but what I try to do now, for example, I work outside the club with my psychology as well, like to try to be calm, to try to keep pushing, and maybe you will be really the guy who decide everything at the end. So that's what I try.
We asked this specific question before. Do you think you should go to the coach and ask them what's going on?
Great point. Like,
why
as a
am I not
player,
playing?
Do you think if they don't
Yes.
come to you, you confront the?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to.
In a good way, eh? Always
Yeah, of
with
course.
respect. He's the boss. And look, now with Ila, for example, I have great relationship with him because he worked with Popa and the Popa,
His
and actually
assistant.
he was the guy who worked with me all year.
Oh, wow.
He was very close to me, and he helped me to reach the 18 goals and have a great season. He actually from the start he say, "Look, I remember." He say, "You are my project this year.
That's cool.
I will work. We will work together, and I think you can be like this, like this, like this." And look, he took the best from me, him and Popa.
That's great.
So I have good relationship with him, and I can go and talk to him. But at the same time, you have a Nick Cook. He's first thing is I'm very close to him, very close. He speaks Spanish. One of the best guy in the
Virgos.
in the change room.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, really?
top
Really?
legend.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy.
Very good, and he's a good player. So
Yeah.
what can I say?
Yeah.
It's difficult. I want more time, of course.
Yeah.
And in my age, the problem is like you need games.
You need to. Body needs to stay.
Your body need to
Yeah.
play and play and play and play and
Yeah,
play.
after you have a few weeks, it's hard, huh?
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And then and it's difficult because I play a couple of games, out.
Yeah.
Start play again, out.
Yeah.
And it's not only for me. I guess every single player is like this, you know. And also you don't feel that confidence that you say,
Yeah. You're the number one choice.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Can I ask you, and you don't need to answer this, but you said that it would have been better if they came to you early and told you what was going to happen or what they were
100%.
thinking, right? At that time, did you go and speak to them when you started to see what was happening? Did you go and ask? And if you did, what was the response that you got at that time of what's going on?
One thing I have to say, the club always say, we want you here. The club.
Okay.
Right.
I got you.
So that's where you trust this, and then it's
The club say, we want
Yeah.
you here.
Yeah.
So there's a disconnect.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Yeah.
So
That
what-
part I don't know. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's what I expect more. Like
Yeah.
someone to say to me, come and say, look. Because it look like I'm there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's difficult as a player when you told one thing and the outcome is different, huh? But for you was it was big news, huh? When PK left like so early in the season, right? For you was it? I mean, the change would be interesting to know how it reacted. But for you, may have been easier because Arthur, you said you work with him so closely.
I
and
come
he's the
alive.
coach.
I come alive again.
Yeah, right.
But that's the
you
reality.
enjoy going
I'm not
to-
joking. This is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every footballer goes through it. Yeah.
But man,
Someone
different
bad luck,
coach,
someone
different
good luck.
coach,
100%.
Different things.
different things, and he know me. Dylan know me well. He work with me. He know who I am. First thing for me is the most important is as a person,
Yeah.
who you are as a person.
Yeah.
After we can discuss and we can fight about football, this, that, who have to play, whatever. But as a person,
Before we wrap, because we don't want to hold you for
Bruno's
too
got to
long.
get to training.
Yeah. just one more. Just going back to Perth. You were with Sturridge. What happened there?
Yeah, why that not work?
And
Too
how
hot?
were you close with him? Like, what happened
Too
with
much
that?
sun?
Because
Too much dancing, bro.
For me, I watched him play for my club, and then I saw, oh my God, Daniel Sturridge is coming to the A League.
Liverpool fan.
Nah, Chelsea.
Ah.
Before Liverpool, yeah.
Crazy Chelsea fan.
And I thought, how's he come to Perth? But then I feel like I never watched him touch a ball. What happened? Can you give a little bit of, or do you know what went on?
Injury
It's
all the time.
was it his
Yeah.
calf?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Look, actually, I think I trained with him 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. Always he was outside. or he trained different because he have any problem, or start to feel it again, or how many minutes he play?
I think he played maybe a total of 70.
Yeah, he
I
not
honestly
even
don't
play one
remember
game.
seeing him ever play.
Look,
I don't remember ever seeing him.
Yeah, I didn't.
2 trains with him, and you can see the quality.
Really?
Straight away, it's different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
completely different. The way that he shoot, he move, crazy. But his body is the problem. And look, I didn't see him like a crazy guy. Like,
Yeah.
this
Like he's
is-
doing
this
something
is
wrong.
why.
Yeah.
He got quarantined, didn't he? He was made to stay in the hotel in Perth because of COVID.
One of the players going in Brisbane just before Christmas,
Oh no.
and there was promised us that we were back for Christmas. But what happened? In Brisbane that time, they say you have to be quarantined in the hospital.
In the hospital.
If you get COVID, hospital. So another player get, we did quarantine, and we was fighting with the PFA, try to help us to get out.
Yeah.
And another one test positive, and the ambulance come to the hotel, pick him up, and go to the hospital. Lucky, we go back to Perth, and we did another 7 days at home.
Wow.
Yeah, in that moment, he didn't go back to Perth. He went to Sydney, Sturridge, because his wife is coming. So he will be he will be without the family. So
Yeah,
he
it's
stayed
a
there.
mess.
We stayed in Perth. 1 month training with the team, and he was training alone.
Wow.
So it was difficult. It was so difficult for him, and I guess different facilities as well.
In Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
right.
Hey, where would you live when you stop playing? Is it Melbourne?
Wow.
Do you think you'll stay
Are
in
you
Melbourne?
to leave, huh? Where your kids want you to live as well.
My kids want to live here.
Where
Wow.
do you like?
Look,
Because you play for another 15 years. we know.
maybe.
And you can join the podcast as well.
Look,
It's like he's a natural member.
and there will be the first player to do the podcast and playing. Look, there's a big question, and now is I will be without contract this year, and I don't know what happened. I don't know actually, and it's tough question for me to move around. If the family, they're happy here, and they say to me, "Look, we will follow you until your last game, and then we decide where."
But your heart, you want to play. Keep playing, huh?
100%.
For sure,
Look,
yeah.
what I feel literally is like I want to have another preseason reset
Yep.
after this one.
And go again.
Finish this year, try to be champion, of course.
Mm.
Try to help the team for where I can. Because also I feel like I'm a big part inside the change room as well.
Yeah.
So I have to play that role and help the others. And next year, let's see what happens. But I want to show again that I can be there again.
I think it's weird because obviously it's a number, right? It's age is a number, but like when I'm watching you, I don't see you've lost any quality. Archie was like still amazing when he was older as well. He was even older than you are. But how do you feel physically? And
Look, it's difficult now when you not play.
yeah,
That's-
I think that's the big
that's the biggest-
that's the big thing.
This is
You're
why
not
I
playing
say
regularly.
What is to keep the fitness or
to keep the fitness, because
yeah.
doesn't matter what you do in training. Or look, part of this year I was training outside as well by myself to try to don't be that far, because sometimes it's like, okay, look, don't forget I start to play again almost in January.
Yeah.
All the first part of the season I just come on.
20, 15 minutes. Not even sometimes.
Not even
huh?
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not even in the squad.
Hey, and sometimes I can't remember who it was. It might have been Perth or something. You come on, first touch goal. The nice finish.
Against West United.
Yeah, Western it was.
Yes.
It's
But that is, I think, it's because I was trained outside, and
you were ready.
other ways will be this is why he's not playing.
Yeah.
And in that point I don't want to give any reason.
Yeah.
I was training with the NPL in Bandura. against Heidelberg, no one knows, but in that moment, I was training on Monday doing friendly game with MPL in Heidelberg.
What?
And against Heidelberg in Bandura.
Yeah, but I think this is
The
a
field
good
was like,
yeah.
I don't know if it was a soccer field.
I think this is a good lesson, though. Someone with your stature, your amount of goals, the respect, you just put your head down and did it, and because a lot of players would have given up.
Yeah, no, no.
You know, and it's easy for me to say. I've never played, but
No, but it's right, bro. What you're saying is, when I asked you the question about what advice would you give to a younger player in your situation, in that situation, I think you've embodied it by what you've done. You're going to play with the reserves. You're going to do the extras.
Don't give any reason.
Yeah. Stay ready, huh?
Don't give any reason.
Yeah.
Like, because it's at the end is let's call it that way. Like it's a fight. Like not like he don't want to pull you or he don't want to play you, and you have to show that that's the fight that you have. You know, and because actually they asked me, Bruno, you want to play that game? Look, and I say, yeah, of course, I'm part of the team.
A lot of older players would have said no, I bet you.
For example,
a lot of people would have said no.
Actually, last game against MacArthur, I come on 5 minutes, but they come say, Bruno, we will do some run. You want to run? Why you ask me?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's not just for me, because it actually helped me to be fit. It's how my teammate look at me.
Yes. This is the special bit.
You know, and I always say, and I speak with some of the boys, Nish, I remember we was talking about this, and I say, look, I don't care, coaches, I don't care, because tomorrow I will finish, or someone will call you for another club and say, how is Bruno? How is him inside the change room? How is him as a person?
Yeah. It's great
And
advice.
that for me is the most important part now and after football.
That's great advice, man.
Who you are as a person. Because football is small world, guys. Yeah. You ask someone and they say, look, nah.
yeah, don't worry about
Nah.
him. Yeah.
Bad person.
We know each other.
Yeah.
You know, so this is, for me, is the most important part in my career. That's it.
Hey, just quickly, Bruno, who's the top 3 players you've seen in the A-League since you've been here? Your top 3.
Diego Castro,
Yeah.
Ninkovic,
Yeah.
and Aaron Mooy.
Oh, wow. Good list, man.
It's a good list.
Brilliant list.
Did you put Castro ahead of Ninko? It's a hard question, huh? I know. They're both really nice guys as well.
I play,
But I
yes.
would
I
put
play with
Castro.
Diego.
Special, huh?
Yeah.
And look, I always talk with Nico, and we was talking inside the field before, and I say, man, I need you behind me, and I will score.
Do you know a lot of the... I think the fans love Castro, but you ask any player, Castro's almost number 1. But that played against him or with him, he's like he's
Man,
number
like
1.
Can I
crazy
say,
stuff.
from the perspective, you said you played with him, right? When I went and trialled for Perth, I don't think you were there at the time. I was there 2 weeks, but I had played against Castro many times, seen him play. But then when I saw him in training, it was like, oh, now I see what's going on. Like, this is a
Crazy.
footballer, bro.
Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
Unbelievable,
And like you try to tackle him, it was like this, and so strong. So strong, and then you know we are in trouble, and pass the ball to Diego, and he will find the ball. And what I realized with this kind of player, you don't need to talk. Same happened with Aaron. I remember Aaron faced that way, and I know he already seen me, and I know I have to run because eye contact and bang.
Yeah.
He understands the game.
That's football for me, you know. Today is like I say, coach, they pass the ball there. No, man, take your decision. It's not PlayStation anymore. But that for me that's what I call football, you know.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff that I miss a lot. Like players like him, like look at you and say, I know where I have to run because he tell me already, go there, the ball will come.
Yeah.
Chemistry. Yeah.
Guys, I think we'll wrap it there. Bruno, thank you so much for your
What a
time.
guest,
yes,
man.
clap
Thank
it
you,
up
guys.
for Bruno.
Hey, boys, if you're not... Doesn't matter if you're the fastest. if you're there first.
You're there first.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Put that up here, man. Shit.
Good luck for the rest of the season. I'm going to be blunt. I hope you win the league because I'm a Victory fan. So it's going to be a tough run-in, but I'm sure you guys will do really well. And good luck for everything else, man. Hopefully you can stay in Australia.
Sure.
But thank you so much for your time.
You always
We
know
really-
the guy who do it like this.
No, no.
Oh yeah. Now he probably loves you though.
Yeah.
No, look, actually,
I'm
I have
sure
to
they
say thank you very much to the fans because, look, even if I'm not playing or I play in some minutes, every time I'm on the field, they are always there.
They love you, huh?
Always there.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we love each other. So, big thank you to Melbourne Victory fans.
Beautiful.
Bravo, Bruno.
That's beautiful. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. 5 stars on Spotify, please. Thank you, Backchat, as well. We out of here.
Nice, Bruno.